Hello everyone and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars review. Today we're going to take a look at the final two figures from the LEGO Star Wars Buildable figures range, and in today's review we're going to take a look at none other than the rebel hero himself, Luke Skywalker. This particular figure is of course based on Luke's appearance in Episode 6 Return of the Jedi, and it can be paired very nicely with the Darth Vader figure also available in this range to recreate that fateful duel between father and son. And I'll be giving you a look at Darth Vader in my final figure review from this series, so stay tuned for that coming very soon. Luke Skywalker here is set number 75110, and this set currently retails for $19.99. The piece count on this guy is 83, so which appears to be the standard with these basic figures, around the 80 mark. Some of the larger figures such as Darth Vader and General Grievous feature a lot more, but they're also priced a little higher as well. But once again, the price per brick ratio, while it's ever so slightly off, isn't much of an issue for me personally, mainly because of the sheer size of these figures. Each one stands at around 9 inches tall. Darth Vader and Grievous of course are taller characters, so they stand a little bit higher. And if you want to check out Grievous's sheer size, then please feel free to do so via the video that I've previously uploaded. That should pop up somewhere during this review, so you can check that out after you've watched this one. So this is of course the box that Luke Skywalker comes in, and you can get a really nice look at the image on the front there. Obviously you've got Vader and Luke going at it in the background there during their duel on the Death Star. And on the reverse side of the box, once again, we have another image of the figure, as well as some of the features that are included in this guy. Luke comes with a really cool accessory that I'll talk about in just a little bit. But just across the bottom of the box there, you'll also see the other figures available in this series, all of which we've reviewed, and as I mentioned, Darth Vader will be coming up next. Once again, there is another figure that is soon to be released from this line, and that's the First Order Stormtrooper from The Force Awakens. And again, I'll share more details on that figure and its release date and what have you as that information becomes available. So that is the box that this guy comes in. Before we jump into the review, as always, I'd like to give a huge thanks and a shout out to the guys at Norton & Co and the LEGO Group, who as always were kind enough to supply this set for a review, and it's thanks to them that I've been able to bring you this entire series of videos. So a big thanks goes out to Norton & Co and LEGO, and a huge thumbs up as well. So that is the box that Luke Skywalker comes in. Now let's take a look at the figure itself, and I really like this guy. He's perhaps, I'll not say the weakest figure from the range, but for me personally he's the least exciting. That's mainly due to the head sculpt. I think for me personally some of the helmeted figures look a little bit better than the human figures. Obi-Wan is obviously the exception because he's based on his animated Clone Wars appearance, so the slightly stylized, cartoony design lends itself a little bit more to that character than it does with Luke, but for the purposes of this figure it works well, and obviously in keeping with the rest of the design and the rest of the theme, it works really nicely. So no major complaints, it's just that this is possibly my least favourite, but again, that's not to say that I don't like it. As I mentioned, this guy comes with some really cool and unique accessories, and I'll touch base on all of those in just a little bit. But before we do, I'll just run through some of the articulation and the overall design of the figure. Now, as I've said in some of my previous reviews on this series, if you're familiar with the LEGO Bionicle figures, then you'll already have a feel and an understanding of how these figures are put together. They are primarily put together using ball and socket joints, which I believe is known as the creature character system or something along those lines. So you've got posability and articulation running throughout this figure, and obviously they have that sort of robotic droid look to them. So a very unique and stylized design to the overall figure, but they certainly offer something fresh and unique to any LEGO Star Wars collection. Now, with regards to those accessories that I touched base on earlier on, he does come with quite a few. Obviously, we have the green lightsaber first and foremost, which again is attached to the hand via those red peg systems that I talked about in some of my earlier videos. You can simply remove the lightsabers if you so wish. You also have a blaster pistol, which is loosely based on what appears to be Han Solo's blaster design, but again, it looks really cool. in Lego form. We also have Luke's lightsaber hilt attached to the belt. And the final accessory we get is dangling from Luke's wrist, and that is of course the binders that Luke wears once he is taken prisoner by the Emperor and Darth Vader. So very, very cool indeed. Really like this. It's a welcome addition in terms of accessories. Something that Lego didn't even have to include, but you know, it's a really nice step in the right direction with regards to detail, and it just adds something a little bit more to the figure itself. You know, it adds to the aesthetic, and it just looks very, very cool with that accessory in place. Now, in terms of articulation, as I said, with ball joints throughout this figure, this guy is highly posable. You've got ball joints at the head, shoulders, elbows and wrists, hinges at the hips, knees, ankles, you know, any pose that you want to get this guy in, he pretty much will. And these have got to be some of the most articulated action figures on the market right now. So if posability is what you're looking for, look no further than these guys. As I said, if you want to add this guy to your own collection, you can do so via the Amazon link in my video description. That will take you obviously to Amazon.com, where you can purchase this guy for yourself. And I believe he's in stock now. So if you want to get him, don't hesitate, because he's sure to be a hot seller. One other thing I really like about this figure is obviously the printed detail, which is very true to the costume worn by Luke Skywalker in the movie. Obviously they've got creases and folds there in the Jedi tunic, and you've also got the ripped feature there as well, which obviously shows the white colour underneath Luke's black robes. You've also got the utility belt printed there as well, and overall a very cool figure indeed. So once again, this guy is going to look awesome standing alongside Darth Vader, and I'll be giving you a look at Darth next in my upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed having a look at Luke Skywalker, set number 75110 from the LEGO Star Wars Buildable Figures series. I'll be back with many more reviews very soon, so stay tuned for those. And as I mentioned, my final review in this series of videos is coming up next, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, as always guys, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.